Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Max. In today's video, I'm going to give you my top floral fragrance for men. Now, one of my viewers suggested that I do this video. Of course, I'm going to oblige. So if there's any kind of video that you would like for me to do, leave it in the comment section below. Well, floral fragrances are fragrances that I think some men are intimidated by. I don't know why, because if it's mixed well, they're not overly feminine, and it adds a real romantic touch to the fragrance. So guys out there, please don't be afraid to wear floral fragrances, because I'm telling you, it adds some elegance to the fragrance, adds some sexiness to the fragrance. So without further ado, let's get to the list. The first fragrance that I'm bringing to you, I actually wore Wednesday. So when I got up out the bed, I sprayed it on, and I'm like, you know what? If I decide to downsize my collection, this would be one of the fragrances that I probably would do it. Well, I ended up going to work, and this lady said she loved the way I smelled. She emphasized that she loved the scent of the smell. Also, a guy complimented me on this fragrance. It went from a fragrance that instead of getting rid of, I decided to add it to this list, because after the initial sprays, it's a very nice fragrance. This is a clone of Frederic Malle de Moon, and that is Oud Crescent. Now, when they open up, you're going to get some raspberry, you're going to get some saffron. About 15 minutes into the fragrance, you're going to pick up on some berries, then you're going to get some of that Turkish rose. I get a hint of cinnamon, but it's not the spices. It smells more like them red hots candies mixed with rose, with some saffron. You get some of them berries. And then in the base, it dries down to this oud. It's a very nice fragrance once you get past that initial 15 minutes. It's a beast mode performer. You're going to get compliments on it. And the price wasn't really that much. I think I paid around the $40 mark. So a very nice fragrance. And that is Emir Oud Crescent by Paris Corner. Now the next fragrance up, I actually discovered this fragrance. I was going through a niche house fragrance store. I will leave the card up here. So if you want to check it out, come back and check it out. But I was in this niche store, and the sales attendant actually said this was her favorite fragrance. And before she told me that, this was one of the fragrances that caught my nose. It's a little pricey, a little under $200. Trust me, I wouldn't tell you to buy something that I didn't pay for. All these fragrances was paid for by me, and that is Sammy. Now the feature note in this is heliotrope. Now when it open up, you're gonna get that heliotrope, you're gonna get this plum note, you're gonna get this mandarin note. I almost smell like a fresh, juicy tangerine. Just imagine the juices from it. It's citrusy, it's floral. Then in the base, it comes down a little of that sweetness with some patchouli. You're gonna get a nice clean musk. Now this is floral, it's sweet, it's fruity, it has some citrus note, has that backbone of musk and patchouli. This fragrance is very unique. I personally haven't smelled anything like it. That's what attracted me to the fragrance. Sammy, a nice floral, sweet, fruity, citrusy fragrance that I think you will enjoy. Now coming up next, this is probably my least favorite of the group, only because I know the jasmine, but in some of the other fragrances, the jasmine is done right. But in this, on my skin, all I get is jasmine and fruits. The fragrance community rave about this fragrance, but to me, it leans a little bit more feminine. Other guys say it's unisex, so don't let my judgment deter you. Check it out for yourself. And coming from the house of Mancera, and that is Sicily. Now the floral in this is the jasmine note, but like I say, on my skin, it pops out too much, but you're gonna get a lot of fruits. You're gonna get some sweetness from the yin yang. Actually, about 4 hours in, that's when I actually started enjoying this fragrance. Once that musk come in, the fragrance open up, and that's when I start to love it. Like I said, it take too long for the musk note to appear, so it's my least favorite, but I think some of you guys might enjoy it because other people do, and that is Sicily from Mancera. Now coming up next, this actually features the note of jasmine, but in this, to me, it's done right. And a lot of people also rave about this fragrance. And this is coming from the same house, and that house is Mancera. That is Velvet Vanilla. When you spray this, you immediately get that jasmine note, but there's something in it that balances it out. You get some of that sweet vanilla, and I think that neroli plays a big part in it to help balance it out. And then you're also gonna get some musk. Now the musk in this is kind of animalic, but it's very light. Sit in the back. You get dominant notes of jasmine, vanilla. It's like a velvet texture, almost like the name. It's real creamy with some sandalwood. It's a nice scent. You're gonna get, man, I wore this. This was my scent of the day. I'm still smelling it about 10 hours later. So nice performance. Well, Massero's always had nice performance, but nice performance from a nice house, and that's Massero Velvet Vanilla. Now this particular fragrance, it features the note of iris. Some of you might have got your nose on it, and that fragrance is Juvante Gentleman EDP. Now in the opening of this fragrance, you're gonna get some of that lavender. It's a nice, smooth, creamy lavender. You're gonna get some iris. You're also gonna get some vanilla. You're gonna get some leather. This is a very nice masculine scent. It has some powderiness to it, but that leather, vanilla kind of makes it stand out. Now this is powdery, it's sweet, and it's very creamy. An underrated scent in my opinion, Juvante Gentleman. Now coming up next, we're talking about a Middle Eastern fragrance house. And to me, this fragrance house is very underrated. You hear about your Lattafas a lot. You hear about your Armafs a lot. But if you want some nice scents, some nice fragrance, I have about maybe 20 from this house. Check out the house of Swiss Arabian, and that's Oud 01. Now, if I had to do a top oud based fragrance, this probably would be in the top 2 or 3. I'm telling you, this is an underrated gem. I think it was like under 60, maybe 70 bucks. But in the open, you're gonna get that cardamom, you're gonna get some raspberry, and the feature note in this is Turkish rose. So you're gonna get that in the heart, and then when it dries down, you're gonna get leather, you're gonna get some oud, and you're gonna get some amber. Now this is very spicy. It's very woody, real resinous, and it's very leathery. Underrated scent, man. This smells so good. I'm telling you, get your hands on Oud 01, and I promise you, you won't be disappointed. You might think because it has oud in it, but it has enough sweet notes, enough spicy notes, and then that leather just binds everything together, makes it a great fragrance. This is another compliment getting fragrance. Every time I wear this, I get compliments. Swiss Arabian Oud 01. Now we're back to the house of Massero again. Now I once suggested this fragrance to someone and he loved it, but he said his girlfriend said it smelled old man like. But check it out for yourself, because to me, this is a nice fragrance. And the floral featured in this is jasmine again, but it's done very, very well. And that is Massero Black Gold. Now in the opening, you're gonna get this blast of jasmine, but it's covered up with some nice spice from some cinnamon. Then later on, you get some lavender, you get some nutmeg, and you're gonna get this animalic musk. A very unique, great smelling fragrance. I think I maybe worn this once or twice. I did receive compliments from this male and a female. So one time I wore it, I received no compliments. The next time I wore it, I received 2 compliments. Now this is floral, it's sweet, and it's musky. Black Gold from Massero. I think you'll like it. Check it out. Now coming up next, this particular fragrance, when it first launched, it was marketed for women. A lot of males were buying this fragrance out, so they remarketed it for a unisex fragrance. I think that what started the snowball effect for a lot of fragrances being marketed as unisex. And like I said, a lot of males were wearing it, and it's one of my favorite scents, and that is Tom Ford Black Orchid. This version is a stunner. Now there's no particular floral notes that's really dominating this. It's like a whole bouquet of flowers. In the open, you get nothing but a blast of that truffle note, which give it kind of like a chocolate, spicy chocolate. You get some yin yang also, and again, like I say, it's a bouquet of flowers. Then when it dries down, you get some nice vanilla, you get some nice sandalwood that makes it very creamy. Now this is floral, it's oriental, and it's sweet. Now this is like a dessert, one I think you will enjoy. If you haven't smelt it, go ahead and check it out. I think you will like it. All right, guys, like I said, if you have any suggestions or any kind of video that you want me to make, if I had a fragrances, I will accommodate it. In the meantime, take care of yourself. Peace.